Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
How many men are needed in order to break Yichud at night with a woman? I'm a single working woman or a married woman whose husband is out of town, and a few male cousins or male acquaintances of my husband would like to stay in the house that I live in. Is this permitted? If men would like to have a meeting with me inside of my home, can I allow them in and close the door? Can I travel in a car together with two or more men? Can I work in an office together with two or more men? And so on and so forth of questions that relate to a plurality of men breaking Yichud and how many are required. So in this regard, we find a major debate in the Talmud in Maseches Kedushin 80b regarding if a single woman is allowed to be alone with a plurality of men or not. The first opinion of Tanna Kama states that if there's two or more men, it's permitted, while Rabbi Shimon states that even if there's many men, it's forbidden. Now, how do we rule? So just as we find a debate in the Talmud, so too there's a debate amongst the Rishonim. The Rambam rules stringently like Rabbi Shimon that even if there's many men, it does not break Yichud with a single woman, while the Rosh rules like the first opinion that a woman may be alone with two or more men. And just as we find a dispute amongst the Ashkenazi versus Sephardi Rishonim, so too it is within the Achronim and the ruling in the Shulchanaruch. The Mechaber in the Shulchanaruch, chapter 22, halacha 5, rules like the Rambam and Rabbi Shimon that it is forbidden for a woman to be alone even with many men, and so is the Sephardi custom, while the Ramah rules like the opinion of the Rosh and the Tanna Kama that it is permitted for a woman to be alone with two or more men, and so is the Ashkenazi custom. However, even according to the Ashkenazi custom, which permits a woman to be alone with two or more men, there are a number of contingencies. Number one, this only applies if the men are kosher, meaning they are God-fearing, they are not suspected to do things that are promiscuous. If the men are prutzim, not God-fearing, and are promiscuous, then even if there are 10 men there, Yichud would be forbidden according to all opinions, even according to Ashkenazim, which generally allow it. So rules the Ramah in the above source in 22 halacha 5, and he writes that a typical religious Jew is considered to be kosher unless there's reason to suspect otherwise. Another contingency, aside for the need for the two men to be kosher, is that it's only required to have two men during daytime while in the city. However, during travel or during nighttime, then 3 kosher men are required and not 2. 2 kosher men alone does not suffice. So rules the Ramah in the name of the Ravid, and so is the ruling of the Achrein. So even according to Ashkenazim, by day 2 kosher men suffice, but by night we need to have 3 kosher men in the area with the woman for Yichud to be allowed. Now, what is considered nighttime in this regard? So the Chassam Sofer and other Achronim explain that this is not defined literally as when it becomes dark outside, but rather as the time that people usually go to sleep. So even at night, only 2 kosher men are needed, so long as it's prior to the time of night that people usually go to sleep. And only past the time that people usually go to sleep would 3 kosher men be required. Based on all this information, let us now answer some of the cases and questions that we raised. A woman who's alone at home and doesn't have other yichud breakers available, can she invite 2 kosher men to walk into her house? So during daytime, certainly this is permitted. During nighttime, if it's for a short visitation, and they'll be leaving right away, then it's permitted even at late at night, as there's no chance they're going to fall asleep in your place. If, however, they're coming to stay for the night, such as the case where the woman's first cousins want to come over, then we would require for there to be 3 men there and not just 2. In the case that a woman wants to travel in a car with other men, and they're going to be traveling through areas that are not populated or people are not out at that time in which there's a problem of yichud, as we explained in other classes, then if it's within the city, and during daytime only 2 kosher men are needed, while if it's outside the city or at nighttime when people usually go to sleep, then 3 kosher men would be required. So if she has a 5 a.m. flight and she can get a ride with 3 kosher men, it is permitted to do so. Regarding working in an office together with other men, so if there are 2 kosher men in the office with her, then she may work there so long as they do not stay longer than the time that people usually go to sleep, in which case 3 kosher men would be required. However, in truth, in an office, the concept of liba gaspa and Iskoyim Nashim is applicable, and therefore one should contact the Rav in this situation.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.